Hi everyone, welcome to Season 4, Episode 9 of the Film Bros Championship Podcast. I am Tim, and with me is my co-host Patrick. How you doing, buddy?
Hey Parker, this one's for you.
Oh, not as much enthusiasm that needs to be there, though. But I guess coming from Grimes, I guess that would be kind of just more of the Grimes delivery.
Do you want me to do my Russell Crowe? Is that what you like?
Probably not. I don't know, there's another one I don't know if we could do it justice. It's so...
Hey Parker, this one's for you!
Yeah, it's so manic. It's so...
Joker?
Yeah. Yeah, he really is just doing Joker, and it's a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, it's... What we watched him?
We watched Virtuosity.
Yeah.
And again, I think this movie got killed by a lot of people. I think it was a How Does It Get Made episode on it.
Yep.
I don't care. I hate all of you. This movie's so much fun, and I still like it. It still holds up. This movie's good.
Okay. So.
Oh!
I hear every criticism. I agree with just about every criticism. But this Russell Crowe performance is so much fun. I don't know how you don't walk out of this movie saying you had a good time.
It's delicious, is what it is.
It is his Joker.
Yeah.
This movie basically is just Joker versus Batman.
Yeah. And I mean, basically, you get a Denzel Batman versus his Joker Russell Crowe.
They even put Russell Crowe in a damn purple suit. So
yeah, it's so much fun.
Yeah,
and I don't care. I just think there's
filled
so much
with lots of problems, stuff that doesn't make any sense, and leaps in logic. But a fantastic villain performance.
I feel like most action movies will have that. I don't know. I think there's too much. There's so much more fun that makes up.
This movie ends with a positive score overall for me. It's a higher score that we've done, but it's not a top score. It's not top in my top 2, I don't think. So yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. I might have some disagreement.
That's fine. That's fine. It's all right. I think history has already proven who's right on this one.
Again, I will stand up, man. I don't care.
Tim rides dies with this man Brett Leonard. I will not let anyone besmirch the name of Lawnmower Man. This is his guy.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying this movie, this singular movie.
From the director of The Lawnmower Man. Go on.
Regardless, because that movie is rough. We did that movie. It's not good.
Sure did.
But this movie, which is interesting, I had no idea it was the same person, because it's like, wow, he's back in virtual reality again.
Yeah, right? It's like, I just see you later. It's like, that kid is back on the escalator
I
again.
was just about to reference that, yeah. Mallrats. Yeah, so that is weird, but man, this is so, and maybe it's just this movie is good because it happened to have Denzel in it, and it happened to have such a great performance here from Russell Crowe. Like
it's a star-making performance. This just like put him on my map, and it was like, oh, who is this?
Yeah,
this is wow.
I went out and I bought this movie.
Yeah,
and I own this on DVD. It's one of my it's one of my earlier DVD purchases.
Oh, you have access to all the deleted scenes and stuff?
I probably do. I haven't looked at the DVD in a while, to be honest. I probably,
Is that not how you watched it? Did you watch on Prime with the HD?
I watched it on Prime to get it in HD. I was like, yeah, I don't know if I want
probably heard the effects then.
To be honest, I think we've seen worse stuff. Effects-wise, I didn't think it was that bad.
Well, we saw The Lawnmower Man, so...
Yeah, exactly. That's real bad.
Has pretty close effects.
I don't know about that one. We didn't see any weird floating heads in the middle of the lawn.
We in fact do. Oh, not in the middle of the lawn. No. That was
and that's also like a lot smaller on like a thing when you're in the game thing. Like
I'm just saying, we saw floating heads.
It's a very different situation. I think context means everything. You're gonna make me really defend the hell out of this movie. Okay, Interesting. Okay, fine. I will do that because I think this movie is still way too much fun, and everybody needs to calm the hell down.
Your hero, Brett Leonard. You won't let him besmirch his name.
I don't know why you have to make it about that. That's not what this movie's about.
It makes it funny for me that I make it about that.
Okay, fair enough. Well, anyway, hero. All right, we got former lieutenant of the L.A. Police Department, I believe. Parker Barnes.
Badge,
Yeah, Parker Barnes.
Parker Barnes. Hey, Parker.
Hey, Parker.
Parker Barnes.
It's great. So he is the former vet who basically was, oddly enough, a police detective who is tracking down a political terrorist, which is strange.
Tip the iceberg. Parker is an inmate doing 20 years for going on a killing spree after the murder of his wife and daughter at the hands of a mass murderer and political terrorist, Matthew Grimes.
Yeah.
After their murder via bomb booby trap, which also took Parker's left arm, Parker ends up killing Grimes, all his henchmen, and a reporter and a cameraman during his spree.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, considering the state of police accountability today, I think he would have gotten off. I mean, I don't know what you do.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed a bit much that he's in this like maximum security prison and looked so down upon, where it's like, wait a minute, we're not like his family was literally murdered, and yeah, missing an arm and clearly like, which is just a cool, awesome moment too of him with no arm just blowing people away, and it's entertaining, right?
I mean, I would just show the tape of the reporter asking Grimes to say his signature catchphrase, like he's a reality TV celebrity.
Yeah, that's a bit weird.
Parker's just walking free. It's like, oh no, these people sucked. It's fine. It's fine.
To be fair,
he can kill whoever he wants. It's fine.
It was clearly like they like weirdly spring out from behind him. Yeah, like it's like it's a weird startle move to do to someone who just blew a ton of people away. Like,
yeah, bad move on the reporter and the cameraman.
Yeah,
it's just like,
for sure.
No.
So he's, and I think it's clear that his, like even his buddy feels he's gotten a bad rap, so he's there to try to like help him out in prison and give him this, I guess, cushy deal to help out cops train in virtual reality and the safety of virtual reality, and he's testing out the program.
Yeah, he's getting 9 months taken off of his sentence by agreeing to take part in a trial testing a new virtual reality program for training cops, which is where he first squares off with Sid 6.7. I think he's like at least 3 years into his sentence at this point because he's got 17 years left. Nobody gets a 17-year deal, so I'm assuming he just got 20 years.
Something like it. I mean, you see he's got the beard, his hair's all kind of crazy, like he's been in here for a bit. He looks
so good with the beard and the dreads.
I have to admit, I'm kind of bummed when all of a sudden he comes out clean shaven. I'm like, oh, you should have kept the other look.
Every time when they like shave him down, and I'm like, oh, standard issue Denzel. I mean, he's good, but I like this other Denzel.
But yeah, when you see him going into prison and you got that look and he's got to change, and then you see like clearly the scar because he's got a metal arm. It's like, you turned Denzel into a damn superhero. Like, this is what I want.
Parker has a friend in Police Chief Billy Cochran who hires psychologist Madison Carter to create a psychological profile on Parker to help with his early release. She asks if he was attracted to violence as a child. Yes. Three Stooges. Wile E. Coyote. Every time Coyote got crushed. I mean, it's
a great scene.
There are like exactly 2 scenes in the whole movie where Denzel is allowed to be charming and fun.
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise it's a pretty dull character. That's just like, he's only interesting by the grace of Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
It's just like, man, they really didn't give much to work with.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, we kind of put it out there as a Batman Joker thing, and it's something that a lot of Batman movies run into, where sometimes the villains are more interesting than the bad guys, and I think it kind of is another thing that kind of showed up here almost, where it was trying to show so much on the villain and build that so up to I kind of get why, but at the same time it does detract from enough of the hero here.
Right, and if you didn't want to make him like, I don't know, if he's like, no, he's gone through so much trauma, we have to make him more scarred. And it's like, psychological. Like, that's fine. Like, they show a little bit of that with him in his chalk obsession because his
Right.
wife and daughter did finger painting, so drawing with chalk all over the wall sort of reminds me of them. Like, okay, but like you need more than that. You
And
can't
he
just,
gets
like,
he's get dreams every once in a while. You see every time.
right, but that's not squirrely. That's normal. Like, that's not.
Yeah.
He should have had some kind of strange behavior after being in prison for a few years.
Like they probably should have dwelled
isolation
on.
too. On top of that,
Yeah.
he just like comes back into society like it's fine. Everything's the same. I'm good.
Yeah, you would think too they would have dwelled more on the moment where it comes into question of did he kill an innocent woman or not. Like that probably should have been like a bigger thing, you know, especially for him character wise.
It's such a shitty frame job.
Yeah.
like one, you got the witness who's like, yeah, I know exactly what happened. It's
Right.
pretty obvious. I just looked at the body; it came out the other side.
Right.
And yeah, it's just like I don't know. It's like we just needed a turn here.
They still shot.
We're treading
He
water.
still shot first. Just saying.
He missed. Clearly missed.
But yes, but he's still
He shot
like
wide.
it's still a ballsy thing to shoot.
Anyway,
Yeah.
barely an hour after discovering the crime scene, the cops offer Parker a full pardon if he catches 6.7, who has now entered the real world.
Right.
I gotta tell you, going straight to releasing Parker is honestly insane. And a full pardon, wow.
They really
And
should
they
have
give
showed.
him a gun and a badge and just send him on his own.
Right.
Which is just, like,
There should have been
next level.
something
What the
to
fuck?
show how outmatched the police were to then turn to this. Like there should have been something there
Something.
to be like, wow, okay, we are not capable of this, you know?
No, they go straight to Parker. Like,
yeah.
our regular cops can't handle this, clearly. We gotta go straight to Parker. I'm like, how do you know? It's
Right.
barely been an hour. They say when they show them the photos, we would take that, like, less than an hour ago. I'm like,
Yeah,
the
which
hell?
I think they did a better job in kind of a similar kind of setup, right? In the Wesley Snipes and oh gosh, what's that movie? Wesley Snipes and Sylvester Stallone movie, Demolition Man.
oh,
Right? They show Wesley Snipes' character kind of like messing everybody up, and they're so incompetent in the
Right,
future
those
that they
cops
couldn't
aren't
do.
used to actually being
Right.
cops. So
It actually makes
in
more
Demolition Man.
sense. Yes, exactly. Which they didn't exactly have here for sure.
No.
But whatever, we need a reason to get Denzel out, so it's like, okay, whatever.
It just tells you, like, all right, we're just, like, there was, like, 20 or there was, like, 10 pages or 5 pages here. We're just going to cut out for time because we need to make this movie shorter. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, but now it's stupid.
I moved on. I didn't need to dwell on that.
And the psychologist they hook him up with, Madison there, not even a police psychologist.
Yeah, that one was a bit more of a stretch, for sure.
bit?
Well,
I mean,
she's a criminal psychologist, but yeah, she works through the company. She doesn't even work for the police department.
No.
So it seemed like some
That's
weird deal that she sets up.
That's his only babysitter. And he's like, oh, I work alone, Billy. And I'm like, what do you mean you work alone? You're on parole, barely.
Yeah. Well, I think he was more about like she's gonna get herself killed. Like I'm not some babysitter.
Right, no, I understand.
Which
but
I
it's
get
like,
that argument.
he
but
should have had a babysitter.
yeah, there should have been like a legit like police person with them or something. Yeah, for sure.
Like, if she was a cop psychologist, it would have made a heck of a lot more sense. Like, okay, that strains credibility. Like, oh, a social worker with a gun, maybe that's how the future looks. But still, I mean,
Right.
it's just insane. It's absolutely nuts.
yeah.
Sorry,
Maybe
it
like a
doesn't-
by the book person that has to be by his side
Right,
and
but, like,
eventually
and
earn
that-
respect for each other. You know,
and
that could have been a
that's-
storyline.
Right, but her character then is just like there.
Yeah, and I read
thing.
too that apparently like there was supposed to be a kiss between the two of them
Which
at some point, and apparently it was Denzel that
that
was
shit,
like,
yeah.
yeah, let's not do that. That won't work.
well, he was right because there's
Yeah.
nothing there to support it.
There's nothing. Yeah.
Anyway, Parker thinks it's a bad deal, which is hilarious. I'm like, this is like the best deal you could possibly have ever gotten.
He goes along with it. Yeah, he didn't like the tracker thing, but he goes
Right.
along with
I'm
it.
like, oh, that's it? You're just angry about the tracker? You're getting 17 years off your sentence. You get to go alone to go back to this guy. It just, sorry, bothered me.
It didn't bother me as much, but okay.
I don't really have anything else to say about this character because there's really nothing else to say about the character.
No, I think there's definitely a little bit more, especially when you get the whole reveal, right, that Grimes is part of Sid's programming kind of deal, and then because he's fighting his the guy he loves to play against, all of a sudden Grimes comes out more. So there's a little bit more now at almost connection here to Sid because of that whole Grimes connection. I think that was definitely there, and I think that's ridiculous if you don't think so. I'm sorry.
I think that was always kind of weak. I'll say this: it's one. I gave a very high score for Sid, but the 200 some odd personalities they put in him was a very weak thing. Sid's his own man.
Sure.
One time they show him copycatting with Charles Manson, and then they never do that again.
No, but they do say like, oh, but seeing you and playing with you has Grimes oozing to the surface, and he's doing more Grimes-like things because of that. So I think there's a little bit more from the hero at this point, because there seems to be more. I don't know, more of a more of a mission almost when he starts to see more of this more. He's more invested.
Always insisting, like, nope, doesn't matter, just business. This isn't affecting me. You're all wrong. And
I don't know. I feel that a little.
He's pretty much right.
I think that changes later on, but yeah, he is definitely right about all his kind of guesses and hunches.
Like, you're emotionally compromised. Like, no, I'm just absolutely right. And like, turns out he is. Like, oh, okay, well, that wasn't not interesting at all, was it? Yes,
harsh.
I'm sorry. I love Denzel. Like, this character would have been unwatchable if it wasn't for him. Like, the power of Denzel makes it like mildly interesting, just because Denzel can he's captivating. He just is. So I only gave this category a 2.5.
Wow.
Stand by.
I gave him 4. Gave him 4. It's Denzel, man. He's great. He's a lot of fun. He's entertaining.
Is he?
Yeah. I think he is. I think he's never bad.
No, he's not bad, but the character is boring. It's not a character.
No, I kind of like his whole kind of drive. Yeah, should that have been like explored more? Sure. But it's also an action movie that's rarely ever done. So I don't know. I don't think that's
I don't know. I got like a deeper psychological connection to Martin Riggs and Lethal Weapon than I did for this guy. We can go deeper and crazier.
I mean, yeah, am I gonna put this on the same pedestal as Lethal Weapon? No, but
I don't know. You gave this category a 4.
I did give it a 4, but I mean, I would give Lethal Weapon, if I was grading Lethal Weapon, it would be a 5. No, it would be 5. Yes, for sure.
It's what I'm saying. Like, this is not one step away from Riggs and Murtaugh. Is what my point.
I don't know. It's Denzel, man.
All right.
It's Denzel.
Okay. Well, let's get to the character we do agree with.
Oh, yeah.
Villain.
Oh, yeah. Sadistic, intelligent, dangerous.
Our villain is Sid 6.7, played by Russell Crowe, an AI created for the purpose of testing police. Sid is a combination of over 200 serial killer personalities, including Matthew Grimes, the man who murdered Parker Barnes' wife and daughter. On the 50 terabyte self-evolving neural network double backflip off the high platform. I'm not a swan dive. Crowe is great in this.
Crowe's fantastic in this movie.
He's clearly doing some version of the Joker to Denzel's Batman. He lives for the attention and the chase. God, this guy is fun.
Yeah.
And is absolutely swimming in all these giant suits that they have him wearing, including a bright purple suit that he later wears while strutting to the Bee Gees' Staying Alive.
But it's great. It's a great moment. I really dig it.
I like it too. It's a lot
of fun. With the sunglasses and everything.
Yeah.
But
it's funny, it's silly, but it's fun.
The way he laughs through certain things and can be truly terrifying.
Very Joker-like.
But he nails it. I mean, who would have thought like Russell Crowe would be actually like an amazing Joker?
He would have been.
He would have been fantastic.
One I would have believed that could have possibly beaten the shit out of Batman.
Yeah, I think Joker. At one point before Spider-Man was a movie, I even contemplated him as Harry Osborn at one point.
Russell Crowe? Harry Osborn?
Not Harry. Sorry, I meant Norman. Sorry, Norman Osborn.
Okay.
Norman Osborn. My bad. Green Goblin. Norman Osborn.
How old is Spider-Man?
No, that would be weird. My bad.
Spider-Man's got a 401k. Your movie?
I thought he would have been a really interesting Norman Osborn.
All right.
Just based off of this movie.
Well,
and I don't know if
play a crazy villain. So.
Yeah. I just
He is going to be a Spider-Man villain soon, actually. Technically.
Yeah, technically.
Craven the Hunter's Daddy.
Yeah, I don't know if I dig that one, but we'll see. All right, hasn't come out yet.
Russell Crowe hears a crazy accent, and it's like a siren call. Like, I can't resist. I need this.
Right. But anyway, the laughs, the smiles, the pure carnage and joy he gets out from doing all of it is just a joy to watch. And there's probably some of the best quotes and lines this movie are from him.
Without a doubt, and they're all from him. And he does a great job of transitioning from truly terrifying, sadistic, and awful to goofy fun. And it all seems to fit. Like, it doesn't seem out of place or crazy. It's like, oh no, this is all him.
Just because I'm carrying around the joy of killing your family inside me doesn't mean we can't be friends. Hey, buddy, how's the wife and kids? Still dead, huh?
That's reality for you.
This is so good.
Sid has a weird relationship with his creator, Daryl Lindenmeyer, who he verbally bullies into helping him trick a fellow researcher to make him a real boy via nanobites.
Yeah, nano android.
I love when he tells Daryl how pathetic he is in the beginning of the movie. You see, in your world, the Lord giveth and taketh away. But in my world, the one who gave me life doesn't have any balls. It's just like, hey, buddy, I can just turn this off. It's just like... Yeah,
but it's almost like he's created somebody he wishes he could be.
I don't know. We'll get into Daryl later.
And he's proud of his creation kind of deal, and he knows it, and Sid knows it.
Yeah, the science behind the nanobites and glass eating, both are silicone, are absolutely preposterous. But the movie is good enough that you only go, what the fuck, after you've seen it a few times.
I didn't mind it. I don't know. I thought it was kind of cool. But, I mean, science fiction. I don't know. What, we're overthinking this? What is this?
No, it's listen, like I said, you gotta
There's plenty of science fiction. Like, should we do this now to start questioning lightsabers in Star Wars? I mean, stop.
No, lightsaber makes sense. No.
Now you sound dumb. Come on.
I had to watch this movie at least half a dozen times before I'm like, well, that's stupid. Whatever.
No. Right away I was like, oh, this is fun. It's a little villain that's going to be incredibly hard to kill. Great.
Right. Well, no. The idea of it, like, that is cool. I'm just saying the science behind it is just absurd.
Yeah. And then you get more fun stuff where he's like oozing all over the place. He's like, oh, I'm losing too much of myself. Like, again, like, great. I love this. Just plays with it. Yeah, Keep going.
Some of Sid's puns aren't the best.
I like that one.
It's weird that Sid was essentially born in a xenomorph egg.
That's a weird looking thing.
And Clyde asking, Sheila? With a fully naked Russell Crowe standing in front of him is just
get to see his butt in this movie.
No, I'm Oedipus. And murders Clyde. Hey-o, daddy-o. Yeah, lots of Russell Crowe butt when newly born, and does like a William Sadler Die Hard 2 knife dance. Knife dance.
Good reference.
Before he cuts off his finger and licking the blood and saying, a good year. My guy wants to test out his regenerative powers, and like he seems like orgasm every time he's regenerating. He's like, oh.
I mean, yeah, I guess so like he obviously knew what was going on, right? Because he points Daryl in this direction and
tells him where to go.
Yeah. It's so much fun, man.
So like, the first time he really gets to let loose, my boy is popping into a club where they have a DJ in the center and videographers walking around, putting you on multiple big screens while a Tracy Lord song is playing in the background.
Really?
Yeah, I looked at the credits, just looking at other songs, obviously, and I'm like, what?
I always heard she went into music. I had no idea I actually heard it before.
I didn't even know that she went into music. So Sid recording screams from all of those hostages to record their screams and create music with it is just awesomely demented.
Yeah, he wants to make a symphony, right? Yeah.
And Crow's got some like wildly delicious looks on his face.
Yep. And again, it's got a very similar again of my favorite Joker, which is Mark Hamill, right? Where you can go to that playful, fun laughter, but that immediately just changes it to where it's scary as hell.
Yeah.
Which I think is what Heath Ledger was kind of good at it too at times. So it's just so much fun.
Then you have Sid. I mean, later on, when he's at the flea market, and like Sid is changing every TV. The coverage of his exploits at the club, and one guy wasn't having it and changed it back to UFC, and then Sid changing it back and just like, "Don't fuck with me, man." Why not? And just snaps his neck.
And then just smiles as the TV cameras were looking at him again. It's just delicious.
And then he goes to the UFC event. And you get the, hey, Parker, this one's for you. Just like the way he delivers it, I'm not going to do it again. Good stuff.
Yeah. It's so much fun.
I heard you already did all the stuff after the hijack.
Yeah, because it's great. Oh, my gosh.
I love, too, after he he frames Parker for the death of the woman on the train, right?
Right.
He breaks him out, does all these funny lines, and then he reveals to Parker, like, hey, by the way, that tracking chip, it's got a kill switch in, like it's Suicide Squad. So, like, should you waste your time coming after me or the people who put the chip in you? So, like, this is another classic Jokerism. It's like,
right.
I'm going to see if I'm going to turn you into me.
Right. Like, you got a neurotoxin in you or whatever, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a bomb, it's a neurotoxin.
Yes. Whatever. But it's
want to
still...
get sued.
It's still a lot of fun. And that scene is again delicious. I love too when he takes over the TV studio, the way he just milks the whole.
How about switching the jumpsuit from Elmore to Sid 6.7? Like he had the jumpsuit.
Oh yeah, he had it ready. He had to go get it made.
Welcome to Death TV.
Yep.
And he shoots a Native
Shoots
American
the
guy
dude in the head.
For open borders. Just like, oh. This is sadly still relevant.
Yeah. But man, it's just vicious, you know, and it's just like boom.
I love his
wow,
little
awesome.
speech afterwards. He's like telling like I'm gonna murder some people for your entertainment to the all America. I'll slice, I'll dice, I'll julienne. What about hanging by the testicles?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, by the way, I also kidnapped Carter's daughter.
Yeah.
And Madison gets very upset. Not going to get into much more of this. Just want to say I love him screaming, I want to play, after he...
Oh, yeah. Well, I love the whole reveal that he's back in the box and his whole kind of freak out about that.
Yeah.
And, you know, you're in my world now, and that whole thing was fun.
When he goes full lawnmower man?
Yeah. Oh, stop. And the whole I want to play thing is a lot of fun until he gets unplugged, and it was a bummer. It was done.
It's a 5. Yeah, it's a 5.
It's a 5.
See, I'm on your side with Sid. Just I can't follow you there on Parker Burns.
You're too harsh on Parker Burns.
If it was anybody besides Denzel playing it, the score would have been even lower. It's like 2.5 basically for Denzel.
Anyway. Action!
Okay, so after quickly searching the city to the tune of a futuristic jazz beat, which is just bizarre.
The whole intro credit is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a shot of an escalator for, like, in a blurred, for a really long time.
It's exciting.
And then like, all the title, this is, like, my most negative I have of the whole movie. And then, like, all the title, like, credit stuff coming up is, like, I think it's supposed to make it look like it's electricity, but it looks like water to me. Like, it just looks awful. It just doesn't look good at all. And then you finally get into, you know, here's Denzel in an amazing costume that only could possibly look somewhat okay on him. The boots and everything and the hat is like, whoa.
It is something special, man.
Yeah. And the hat and everything, like his partner guy looks horrendous in it. But it's like, oh, you know, Denzel, man, you're so the man. You can somehow pull this slightly off. This is kind of crazy because this outfit is nuts.
All right, so yeah, I'm gonna put this in my miscellaneous here. Honestly devastated that the bright blue all-leather cop uniforms with stitched-on badges is not the everyday police uniform in the future and only existed in virtual reality. So many buttons!
Yeah.
And I laughed out loud when we eventually get to the real world and we see that the convicts' VR uniforms are tights with pads on them. Like, why do they need the pads on the legs?
I don't know. It's vicious in there. I don't know. It's weird.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Parker figures out
He looks for the signs and the clues. He kind of figures out where Sid is at because of the smiley face. And I love the little line about, yeah, people used to use this to sign off on their emails. And it's like, oh, man.
Did you say emails or electronic mails? I can't even remember.
Oh, I don't know if he said electronic mails.
It feels like that would have been the oldie folk.
It would have been oldie, but I thought he said emails. But
Probably
it's possible you were right, and I just put my own stuff in. For my own head.
But anyway,
yeah.
Anytime I get an action scene in a traditional Japanese like tea shop like this or whatever, restaurant, I don't know, I love it. I love the paper walls. I love this stuff.
Yeah, it's fun. I love how they really try to make it look like video game stuff. Like the food just like jumping into people's mouths, like people acting so robotic. I was like, actually, they kind of nail this era of video games, to be honest.
Yes, I wrote down. I dig this. This thing glitches all the time.
Yeah, I like all that, and I like how he doesn't care because he knows it's a video game, so he doesn't give a f. So he's just like immediately just starts firing because he thinks he sees the silhouette of Sid, so he's just like, guns a-blazing.
Yeah, it's a lot of pew-pew. It's actually not very exciting, but at the same time, the setting makes it really work for me.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
I think it works. Yeah, it's good.
And
then you see what he did to the partner, and
then
that's another cool thing with the villain is you're like, wait a minute, so he figured out how to jack up the sensitivity rating. He cheated, right. And he actually somehow managed to kill inside a game.
Right, but
this
he's
is a cool little thing.
Killing Parker right away, just like that countdown: 1, 2, 3, 4, and then he shoots at him.
Because he wants
giving Parker some time to run away. Run away, yeah. And Parker takes the sushi chef hostage.
Yeah,
he's like, "What do you do? Whatever, copper, blah blah blah." And Parker just game over.
Game over.
Shoots the hostage.
Just shoots the hostage. It's great.
To kill Sid and win the game.
Yep, because he's like, whatever, it's not real. I don't care that I killed the hostage.
Right.
Which he says later. But yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it is. Parker is brought back to jail after the VR test, and instead of his usual isolated wing, he's let out into Gen Pop, where he fights, drumroll, a future Nazi. Wow, word spread fast about his partner Donovan dying in the VR test.
Real fast.
Which they blame Parker for.
I guess because he convinced him to do it.
Yeah, the fight with the Nazi isn't anything special. I kind of dig that Parker uses his robotic arm as like a winter soldier. It's like, like a shield.
You see his knuckle get cut when he's blocking the shiv and that kind of stuff. And then you do have like a little nice moment where we've seen this kind of trope a lot of times, almost like like you're in here with me kind of deal, like who's next.
Well, Denzel goes fun. Full Training Day. He's like, I'm not going anywhere, come get your boy.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's fun. And there's all this like garbage stuff raining down, so it's kind of cool aesthetic kind of going on.
Yeah, it reminded me of Ricochet. Better
movie. Yeah.
Better
good
movie.
Paul. Yeah, I'd go with you there.
Yeah, Ricochet.
I would. Ricochet's awesome. Ricochet is like another one that I think, defend
Lithgow
like
for
crazy.
the win. I don't think that one even needs defending. Everyone agrees that movie's awesome.
Does it? I don't know a lot of people talking about that movie, but they should.
Their loss.
I agree.
A shot of Parker coming off the elevator and coming behind Sid in the club and unloading a full clip into him, which causes Sid to say, "Losing too much of myself."
I like it. I'm sorry.
Then he does like some like crazy jump, like a Spider-Man jump over him back into the elevator. Sid does.
Yeah.
And then we finally get to see Parker face to face. Like, I know you.
See, the thing that I get,
and he flips the bird as he escapes,
which I do like that. The thing that actually this is one of the few times that I get bothered by. It's like, wait a minute, the elevator was already ready to go down. Like it was already like. He just had to hop in, but it was already ready to like go downwards. There's no
buttons on this elevator.
Yeah, it's just like it just automatically goes down. It's just like, okay, like sure. So that was like a weird nitpick for me. That I was like, what? But it's still like surrounded by so much fun. Again, he's laughing. He's having a whole lot of fun messing with him, and it continues. Because then the chase continues afterwards, and it turns into a little car chase.
Yeah. Cue the boards of acid again. No, for the first time for this movie. Sorry.
Yes.
Young boys. bum 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 bum.
It's good times. Which I learned today because you showed it to me, and we'll play it up top of the episode, I think. But
just play it here too. What the hell?
Sure, why not? We'll bring it back. The intro of the song is a lot of fun, and that is all they play in this movie. Because then you get into like them actually singing, you're like,
doesn't really fit with their vibe.
Yeah, this doesn't really work as well. But that intro is awesome.
Sid escapes in a cop car, and Parker jumps on Parker Barnes.
Yeah,
and then shakes him off the car, with Parker running behind and unloading yet another clip into the car. And Sid chews some glass.
Which I like. I think it's just neat. I just think it's a neat thing.
It chills him up real quick. And then he starts broadcasting on the radio. Inmate Barnes, interrupting my composition. That's okay. I've got another little tune. The Symphony of Collision. Eesh. That is not great. It's a bad line. Sorry, Sid. It's not good. Sid puns are not great yet. He hasn't figured this stuff out.
I am.
He's only been a boy for like a couple hours, so you gotta get the pass.
I didn't dislike this.
He starts bashing.
Yes, he starts bashing into cars right away. I'm sorry, I like it.
All right. Weird that Parker almost never uses his left arm when driving or running. It's like it must remain to the side all the time. It's like
I didn't notice.
Oh yeah. You watch the drives, the chase scene. He's only going with the right arm the whole time.
Yeah.
Left arm. When he gets into the car, the left arm is on it, and then we never see the left arm again. He's always got it side. When he's running and he's just shooting, he's like.
Maybe not used to using because that's the robotic one, right?
You're right. It's got to stay to the arm straight, more or less.
He's committed.
Yeah. Denzel wants you to know this thing's fucked up somehow.
Yeah, it's not perfect, right? It's the future, but like he's got an arm, but it's not amazing, right?
The chase scene isn't up to much of anything, but it looks kind of cool to see Denzel's SUV drift while shooting a shotgun at Sid, who's standing on top of a cop car.
I also love when he asks for the crowd pleaser.
Right, he calls the shotgun the crowd pleaser, yeah.
Yeah, reach your hand in the back and grab me the crowd pleaser, and then like has her grab on as he turns the wheel so that, yeah, it's drifting sideways, taking like shotgun blast after shotgun blast at Sid, who tumbles out and then, yeah, does the whole like, this guy's fun, and then does his whole like swan dive down and he loses him. But fun.
Then we go to the UFC fight. Kapow!
Yeah, that was like a weird kickboxer almost moment or something. Like,
kapow, kapow.
And they just kept doing it.
Kept doing it, man.
It's really weird.
I would have gotten bored of that thing real fast. I am a Yankee fan. We don't believe in doing the wave. So, like, this whole crowd thing getting involved, I do not like it at all. I'm like, not doing this.
It's weird.
So Sid tosses a jealous boyfriend off of the upper deck of the UFC event to his death.
Yeah.
Then he gets his hand blown off by a security guard at the UFC event and punches the dude with his stump. More security guards arrive, so Sid does a backflip off the upper deck and lands on his back just fine. Just a little glitch afterwards with his face.
Yeah.
Then he goes into the UFC ring and he freaks out the fighters with his stump. And everyone's like, Jesus. It's just really funny. Yeah. Michael Buffer is there, by the way, and he's doing his let's get rid of Rumble.
I wasn't sure if we were going to save that for side characters, but yeah.
I actually did write it up in side characters, but I got excited thinking about Michael Buffer.
Fair enough, yeah.
Sid, let's see. Parker arrives, and Sid runs and ends up at a train station. Amazing, Sid is able to somehow blend in with the crowd in his bright purple suit. Then
the future? I don't know.
Sid has the time of his life fucking with Parker on the train with his hostage, who he frames Parker for the murder of, and then waving to Parker with a little kid on his lap. Like,
oh, yeah. It was just great. It's another great little moment. I really like it.
Yeah. Parker finds his family. This is where we get the flashback to Parker losing his family. His family's hostage in Grimes' hideout with enough time to
he's
save
like
them.
Sneaking around while Grimes is preoccupied with the journalists.
Why'd they put the black grease paint on Denzel's face? He's not in the jungle. He's in a factory.
I don't know. We're nitpicking.
You just refuse all my nitpicks. Is what's happening here. I don't know. I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
There's enough time to save them. But as soon as he opens up the door, tripwire mechanism kills his family and severs his arm. Next explosion,
Yeah.
Um,
I think the door is the thing that literally saved him from dying, but yes, loses his arm. Because you kind of see him going back with the door kind of deal.
Right. Parker blows guys away like the Terminator in the police station in the first movie.
Yes, it is like very much like that, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Especially with like the one arm, so he's like already kind of weird.
Yeah.
Walking a little robotic.
But it just adds to it being kind of just badass, even though it's
great.
like, yeah.
Kills everyone with Grimes for last, but really dumb fuck decision by the reporter and cameraman to jump up behind him.
Yeah.
Like Parker is in murderous revenge mode, not the time to jump behind a guy. Still down.
Hey, quick interview. Like what?
Still down. A jury would convict. Sorry.
Yeah.
Then we get to.
This is 1995, and he is a black guy, so I don't know.
Tim, we are in the year
in
1999 in this movie.
Yeah, I know, but we're making it in that era, so I'm just saying.
Okay. Fast forward to the final confrontation at the TV station. The cops see Parker is there and just start opening fire like the final confrontation in The Matrix. And
it does have like a Matrix thing. Him running through the glass, firing in the water, going is like this is like a Matrix thing right here, and the Matrix hasn't come out yet.
Middle arm is like a battering ram to get through the glass. Like,
yeah, I like that too. Actually, you might be sarcastic. I'm being serious. I enjoyed that.
A little closer to sarcastic than serious.
He uses his metal arm a couple of times for
he does
combat and such. And I like it.
And they got some stormtrooper level shooting by the cops before Parker escapes on the elevator.
Yeah.
I mean,
this narrow hallway of a little elevator.
My God, like the only thing stopping the bullets are these little pillars throughout and like glass. Like they can visibly see him the entire time. It's like, how did you keep missing him? This is bad. You're all fired.
Well, you just called out Stormtrooper, so obviously you can't rag on this movie because you love Star Wars and everybody does. So there's got to be some stuff you let go. It's an action movie.
Yeah.
It's part of all action movies.
I gave it a positive review.
Okay. There's too much negative here. I'll stand for it.
Just saying, at least the Stormtroopers had silly helmets on to explain the being unable to shoot.
Sure.
Sid gets upset when he loses his audience because the phone lines have been cut. And Parker jumps in the room. Parker! And Parker unloads on Sid, and Sid does like a Hulk jump through the ceiling.
Yeah, he just goes right up, straight up. Yeah.
All right. I didn't know he could do it. Do you know he could do it? No. I can do that. All right. Parker starts chasing and shooting at Sid. The SWAT helicopter arrives and promises to open fire unless Parker disarms. Doesn't say anything about Sid. And
which is weird.
Christ, they really do start shooting at Parker and not Sid. Thankfully, Cochran arrives. He's like, stop it.
Yeah, after he does get to have his own little action moment of sorts where he starts firing and destroying the computers. So
you wrote that up for action? Okay, sorry.
It's a bit of an action beat to it. Sure, he's shooting a gun and he's throwing stuff. I mean, there's a little bit there. But yeah, he breaks the thing to make sure that the neurotoxin stuff doesn't happen.
Right. I wrote that up all inside.
You can argue both, but I think
most active thing he got to do in the movie. Parker continues pursuing Sid, and Michael Myers walks to Sid while shooting him and really fucking him up. And Sid jumps away, and they fight on a giant exhaust fans on the roof, which come back later. Mm-hmm. And after kicking Parker's ass, Sid jumps away onto a window washer platform and supposedly yells bonsai according to the subtitles, but I swear to God, it sounds like he yelled Bugatti.
I don't recall.
Okay. Well, you're going to have to rewatch the movie now and get back to me.
I'm okay. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that choice.
So now it's not the best movie? You don't want
to
rewatch
I said
it?
I'm okay with rewatching is what I just said. I'm okay with that choice is what I said. I'm okay with
great.
this. I'm okay with rewatching the movie. I watched the movie a lot.
All right.
I like this movie.
Parker gets Sid in a headlock and grabs him and wraps a washer line to them both and jumps off the building and then sort of like kicks Sid through a window.
Yeah.
Sid falls really hard and into lots of yummy glass. But
just shooting straight up. Just like weird planes of glass shooting just straight up.
Yeah, it's like he fell in the pit in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Glass. He's temporarily a quadriplegic. And Parker calmly walks over and starts questioning Sid about where the girl is. And Sid tries to kill
not
Parker.
realizing all of this is glass.
It's just like...
It's a little weird moment where like, wait a minute, we pretty much established this glass
thing. We briefed you on this in the very beginning of the movie. You should know better. The glass is a problem for you. But Sid gets one arm healed up and then grabs Parker's head and tries to shove his face into the glass. Blow me, Parker! And that's when Parker like smashes his fist through the back of Sid's head and rips out his chip.
The character chip module thing, yeah.
Module, yeah, that's what they were calling
yeah.
it, right? Carter comes in with Daryl, who was just like hanging out, watching the show. She pistol whips him earlier. And he's got him at gunpoint. And Daryl tells Parker that by destroying Sid, you've effectively ruined any chance of saving Madison's daughter. And then we're back on the roof.
Yeah.
Parker jumping onto the window washer platform to follow Sid. Sid throws Parker off the roof to his death, and Madison is upset. And Madison's upset, and Sid takes her hostage. Sorry.
Right.
Parker gets back up, and the blood disappears. They're actually back in the VR rig, and Denzel looks fucking ridiculous, miming running in the real world. And they cut to it when he's in the rig. He's like,
it's like, yeah.
His little legs kicking out. Like, what are we doing here? Sid reveals where Karen is and then sees Parker alive and is very upset to find out that he's back in VR. Back
in the box.
They request to be taken out, and Daryl takes out Madison first, I think to give Sid one last chance to kill Parker. And then Daryl knocks out Cochran with a VR rig and then presumably beats him to death with a pipe. That was just
that's what it seemed like, yeah.
Yeah. Sid goes full lawnmower man and starts warping the VR world to kill Parker. But Madison comes to, kills Daryl with Cochran's gun, and Madison just unplugs Parker, and he's saved.
Yeah, it was always kind of weird how that worked in this movie, because it's like sometimes like you had to go through a process, and other times you just pop, and it's like...
Yeah, it's like, oh, just take things off. It's fine.
Yeah, I don't get it, but okay.
Parker and Madison fly to Karen, and Parker stops her from opening the hatch, which is the exhaust fans.
Because he knew to be booby-trapped.
Sid would have booby-trapped it like Grimes. He also somehow knows that they don't have 5 minutes to wait for the bomb squad, even though I don't recall Sid ever putting a time limit on this.
No, he did.
He did?
Yeah, I think in the beginning, I think it was like you have 2 hours or something like that is what it was.
Wow, they did all this in 2 hours. This is very impressive in LA traffic.
I'm throwing out 2 hours, but it was something like that.
Okay,
like
my bad then.
He did throw out a time.
Considering Sid and Parker were fighting on these same exhaust fans, it's weird as hell she didn't make some kind of noise to let Parker know.
Well, I'm sure they did, but there's fans going, there's fighting going. You're not going to hear muffled sounds because her mouth was covered.
She could have been more than that. She could have kicked something. Of course, probably would have killed her because
let Kelly Kuko alone, okay?
Oh, you found out about that. That's good.
Oh, of course I did.
Well,
uses his metal arm to stop the fan.
Yeah,
comes in handy.
And
then uses his metal arm again to take out some tubes. The whole tube thing
Parker unties
definitely
Karen,
made no sense.
But once she shifts her weight some, a message appears from Sid telling Parker it could only be him that found the girl. And basically, he's already thought of everything, so he has no hope. I've thought of that one too. Better try again.
Yeah, the whole like Jurassic Park thing now happens.
Parker just like presses 2 keys, and now the timer is going really fast. So Parker rips a wire out of his arm, just like one wire. And
one tube. It's a tube. It's not even a wire.
You're right. It's a tube.
Yeah.
And kind of guesses that he can plug it into the input and the output at the same time. And it will do something which, if anyone who's ever hooked up a TV before, can tell you that is fucking ridiculous.
I have to say, as much as I defend this movie, this whole scene makes no sense.
Absolute nonsense.
It is nonsense, yeah.
Input and output in the same module with just this tube?
With this tube to like, what is this tube doing? It's like he cuts the tube from his arm. It's like it's not like there's anything in the tube. It's just a clear plastic tube, and it's going in. So what is this doing? I don't like. It doesn't make any sense.
It guesses at the plug, and it puts the clock into a permanent reset until the bomb squad can arrive and save them all. Mother and daughter are reunited, and Parker stands triumphantly on top of the building, tosses Sid's chip off the top, which it shatters and is run over.
And then the music kicks in again as you get a,
boom, 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 boom,
the pan away helicopter shot of Denzel being like, "I saved the day."
So I gave this a 3.
I gave 3.5.
Okay. It's a generous 3 because honestly, this is not a ton of action going on in this movie, but once again, the performance of Russell Crowe throughout it really just elevates everything for me.
Sure.
Which makes it that much more fun.
You know, I'm looking at the other top ranked movies we have, and I'm like, all right. I mean, I think the other two movies are shot better, but I think the action in this movie is better. So,
Versus
how do I
Bad
not
Boys?
give it higher? Yeah.
Take a walk.
What did you give Bad Boys action-wise?
Oh, now I gotta look that up.
Yeah, because I don't think you gave it that high, man. I think I ended up rating it higher. And I gave it as a generous rating of higher. We actually kind of knocked the Bad Boys action.
You're an easy grade, Teach.
And we knocked the Quick and the Dead action too, because again, we gave it generous ratings because the director shot the hell out of those movies. But action-wise, it wasn't all that amazing.
Gave Bad Boys a 3.5.
So, okay, so you went a half point higher.
I did.
And I think that's ridiculous.
You think this movie is a half point better than Bad Boys?
Yeah, action-wise, yes, I do.
Michael Bay is gonna come to your home.
If I'm gonna rate
blow it
this,
up.
if I have to put a category of which thing was shot better, directed-wise, yeah, Bad Boys without a doubt. But that's not what this category is. So I think it's the way you're grading here is bullshit. Sorry, buddy.
Okay, I don't. You're not changing my score.
I know I'm not. I just want to make sure I'm well defending here.
Listen, it's a generous 3 because the action is very sparse out in this movie, and a lot of it is pew pew. Just saying, I could use some more explosions. I like explosions.
I like explosions, as you know me. I love explosions.
If you're not gonna have some like interesting hand-to-hand fighting, then give me some good explosions.
You got a little bit of it. You got a little bit of hand-to-hand. There's a little bit.
No good hand-to-hand fights in this movie at all.
Nothing bad or any means. I thought the prison part is probably the best part of hand-to-hand. The hand-to-hand, probably the next thing you're going to get really is on the roof there. It's probably the weakest part of their fight for sure. But yeah, otherwise, I the whole shotgun turn thing, shooting at him, I think is a lot of fun. I think it's good stuff. I think there's certainly good, memorable action in this movie. That's like all I remember from the other two movies, memorable wise, is just really shot cool. That's not really action to me.
I don't know, man. Like the ending of Bad Boys is better than anything in this movie, action wise.
You might be right.
I think so. Remember the Dark Man guy who went flying? It was awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So supporting characters.
Yeah.
Kelly Lynch,
Madison Carter, criminal psychologist who works for whatever this company is. I forget.
I don't know, but she blackmails her way into accompanying Parker on the hunt for Sid 6.7.
Right.
She really doesn't serve much of a purpose in this movie except to give Parker somebody to talk to. Much like Batman needed Robin in the comic books just because they could give him someone to talk to besides Alfred.
Right. I guess she's the one that
she's
comes
less
up
useful
with the first place to look, which ends up not being the first place to look and ends up being the second place. Regardless, I don't know. Yeah, there's not a whole lot there. The biggest usefulness she has is when she's able to find the programmer and be like, oh, hey, it's you, and kind of
right. She just stumbles upon Daryl. Yeah,
Daryl. Yeah, that's kind of her big use, and
like,
managing to have a daughter.
Right. And she's got like that line where she with William Forsythe where she's talking about Parker being innocent.
Yeah.
Ooh, not her finest hour as an actress. It was, and like even, I don't know how anyone could have done so much better because the script wasn't exactly great with its dialogue. But
yeah,
it's not a good character. It just isn't, and she does not help it at all. But let's get into more fun stuff.
Yeah.
After this, uphill. It's all better. It's all like way better. But she has the largest part as far as the side characters.
I agree.
Steven Spinella as Daryl Lindenmeyer, who created Sid 6.7, is just a weird dude who I cannot figure out.
Super bizarre.
He's terrified of Sid, proud of Sid, and I think wants to fuck Sid.
I think all wrapped up into one. Yeah, because like
He's-
immediately as soon as he sees him, like he get created in real life, he runs. Like he he runs away. He doesn't want anything to do with this, right? But then he also wants to like go to see what he's achieving at the end. Like again, it's almost like this like I'm proud of what I created.
Right.
He's kind of almost what I want to be myself kind of deal.
It's just unnerving, the performance. It's like, something
Yeah.
creepy about him. I liked it. It's a good performance.
I agree.
Add something to it.
Yeah.
Could have done with more of him, to be honest.
He should have had a bigger role. Yeah.
Uh,
Maybe helping Sid along or something. Even if it's from afar. I don't know.
right.
Because otherwise it's just like every occasional shots of him like from some seedy motel being like, oh, you're not going to get him. Like it's like, okay.
William Forsythe as Chief of Police Billy Cochran. He still
And what
believes-
is he not fun?
That is correct.
It's just good time, you know. He's gonna do this again in The Rock, basically.
is.
But hey,
The whole time seeing him, I just thinking of that line where he's talking about, let's get out. You still got a little lead in your pencil. The Rock. I'm like, love William Forsythe. He still believes in Parker and does everything he can for him. When Wallace is about to activate a Suicide Squad chip, it's Cochran who bursts in and destroys the controls with his snub-nosed revolver, and then asks, is anyone using this chair? And picks up a rolling chair and beats the controls some more and destroys the control screen by throwing the chair through it.
yeah,
I don't think he was actually a good cop, considering that pardon deal for Parker is insane, and he gets murdered by fucking Daryl. Just embarrassing way to go out, man.
yeah. But you know, I mean,
I'm sure he's a good politician, but he's a terrible actual cop. We needed him off the street.
terrible deal.
He had 80
but,
cops that
But
couldn't
maybe
find-
he knew why he was in there was terrible. So hey, he worked a great deal.
He had 80 cops who couldn't find Sid 6.7, who does all his crimes on TV. Come on, man.
This is why they needed to show something why they were ill-equipped. But I mean, clearly, I think more what they were trying to get across is they are so in over their head in like this is going to be bad, and how that makes us look politically. So we need to try to do whatever we can to save ourselves. Is what they really try to hit you over the head with.
Speaking
Why
of
they're doing this.
political, Louise Fletcher, Nurse Ratched herself, is here playing Elizabeth Dean.
Yeah,
I think she's the Attorney General in this movie.
I thought she was the mayor.
No one says mayor. I looked through that. I saw one credit her as commissioner.
Because
But,
William
there's
Forsythe is the commissioner.
No, William Forsythe is chief.
I could have sworn he was commissioner.
No, he is chief.
Oh man, I thought he was commissioner and she
No,
was
the
the mayor.
I know this because that's when I double checked. I know that he is the chief of police.
Okay.
She is either Commissioner Dean or Attorney General Dean. I'm leaning towards Attorney General Dean because only Attorney General would have the power of pardon.
Well, no, mayors would. Although I
Depends if
doubt
she's
he's
state attorney. Maybe she's the state attorney general, not like the. I don't know.
Maybe.
It's weird. But like,
yeah, it depends on what level of government
Forsythe
is
calls her
put him
attorney
away.
general, but otherwise
Okay.
there is no line of dialogue that tells you what she is that I could find.
Okay.
But like one website listed her as Commissioner Dean, so I don't know. Anyway,
Okay, it's confusing.
she doesn't
All right.
have much to do in this movie, which is unfortunate because Louise Fletcher is a fantastic actress.
Yeah,
But it's just
Very
fun
limited.
having her here, just the same.
she adds a level of gravitas to it because it's her. So
100%.
yeah,
William Fichter is here playing a little weasel named Wallace.
Wallace. That's it. Just one name.
He works
He's a
for
company exec. Yeah,
I don't know if he is or not. I don't think so. I think
I
he
think
works
he
for
works
Elizabeth.
for the company. No, I think he works for that company.
I got the
I
impression he
think
worked
he's
for
a
her.
company. I think he's a company executive.
He's always
I-
following her all around, and he's the one.
Yes,
who's about
because I think it's some kind of contractual thing between the government and the company, and he's the company exec.
I don't know. I think
That's the
they're trying-
impression I get. No, because he's talking to her at one point about how is there any way that we could keep Sid alive because of he's one of a kind, like extreme, like this is advanced tech, like could we not destroy it? That's like a whole company perspective there. So I'm pretty sure I'm right. I'm just
All right. Well, we're both guessing. Let's be fair.
Fair enough.
I mean, because it is not clear. Apparently, most of his part just got cut out of the movie, which is stupid. If you have one actor in your movie, don't cut him out of your movie. It's a bad call.
He's
a really good actor.
Yeah, he's a load of fun, and every time I've seen him in anything, to be honest, yeah.
Yeah. Kevin J.
I always think of Go.
It's not Amway. It's Confederated Products.
I watch all these cop shows, and they always get it wrong.
Kevin J.
And of course, Dark Knight. Sorry to interrupt. But.
Sure. Kevin J. O'Connor as Clyde Riley, the inventor of the nanobites that Sid uses to become a real boy.
It's Benny.
Poor Clyde just wanted to fuck a robot and got his neck broken for his trouble. Sad.
Yeah, that is sad.
Yeah.
But he's really good in what he does.
Yeah. He's fun.
He's a lot of fun. It's just why he's Benny in The Mummy or tons of other movies. Probably the best part of it was a Deep Rising that he was in.
Yeah,
it was not a very good movie, but he was a lot of fun in it. You know, like he was really good.
That terrible Van Helsing movie.
Oh, the movie was so bad. I don't understand people who defend that one. But yeah, no, I think he's really good in every time he's in it. So, but then Kelly Kuko.
As Tim mentioned, 9-year-old Kelly Cuoco as Madison's daughter, Karen Carter. I wish the baseball talk between her and Parker had lasted a few minutes.
I agree. I love the whole did Denzel not even know that line was coming, or did he? That could have been acted.
This is the second time where Denzel gets to be charming for a second in this movie.
Right. I knew this is what you were talking about.
For a first baseman to be left-handed, and then Denzel turns into Denzel, charm goes to a million. Yes.
Yeah, the smile just comes across.
Smile.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Or whatever. It is great. And I was like, she's such a better actress even at 9 years old than Kelly Lynch. I'm like, I could more of her. Let's just see her in this movie.
Even at the very end where they they do manage to figure out the bomb situation, is like, oh, we're gonna be okay. And she goes, really? And all of a sudden she just puts this giant smile. Like, what? But it's so charismatic and so well done. It's such a kid thing that they can just turn on a dime to go from one emotion to the other emotion. And it was weird. Small role in questionable overalls that she's wearing.
I always think of those red shoes, those bright ass red shoes.
And it's black and red leatherish overalls. It's so weird. But cool. I don't know. Yeah.
Sheila 3.2, played by Heidi Shands.
Oh, wow. I didn't even have this here, but okay.
I thought I'd surprise you with this one. Cracked me up with the backup vocals for Daryl Lindenmeyer's pitched at Clyde. She's interactive. Very interactive. Then Daryl starts spotting out some long jargon on her technical specs, and she just pipes in with a, oh, yeah.
She's a master chess player, too, or something.
Right. It's just she can do blah, 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 blah. She's amazing, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, yeah. It just made me laugh. Yeah. And then, I wrote Michael Buffer here at UFC. He said Rumble.
Michael Buffer.
He said it.
He did, yeah.
Get ready to rumble.
And this is, and you said, interesting enough, UFC before. I don't think UFC existed yet. So it's this
it exists.
It did exist?
Yeah, it's where John McCain was calling it cockfighting and not actually any kind of sport.
Oh wow, I didn't know UFC really existed yet, but this
not as
really
we know
is
it now, but yeah.
Right, it's the octagon ring and the whole thing. Although there's multiple guys in the ring at the same time, which is weird, but whatever.
I like Buffer. Just his part is to be ringside guy who's on a ladder or something like that, complaining that the camera is just something we want to see the fight! What are you doing? Get off the pretty girl! Rumble! I gave this a 3, and it's a generous 3 considering how bad Kelly Lynch is in this movie. And the character
I did too.
But everyone agree. Else is sprinkled was oh, joyful, joyful, joyful.
I agree. The exact same feeling there.
So my final score for this movie is a 13.5.
I have it as a 15.5. Yep. Yep.
Let's see. Oh, the credits hit, right? And we get the Lords of Acid song again, Young Boys. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, it transitions into Peter Gabriel's Party Man. It's just
oh, it's so weird.
What the hell is this?
It's a weird transition.
It is.
Yeah.
This movie had a budget of $30 million, which is a little under $62 million today. and a worldwide gross of a little over $24 million, which is a little over $49.5 million. It was a bomb. It debuted at number 4 in its debut weekend. Number 1 was Waterworld in its second week of release.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Other debuts that week were Something to Talk About and Babe, which both beat Virtuosity.
Wow,
but
that's upsetting.
Virtuosity did beat out Bushwhacked, the 1995 Daniel Stern comedy about a criminal on the run who impersonates his scout leader to hide out.
Interesting. Wait, is Waterworld on our list?
Yeah, should be.
Oh. I don't remember seeing it on here. Did you forget to put it on?
Oh, I must have, but it should be on the list. Sorry. I'll put it back on.
Yeah. Okay, I'm about to say, I'm looking at it. I don't see it on here.
Yeah. Whoops.
Huh.
I'll fix it. Definitely is,
right.
Because I know we argued about that. And you're like, no, I don't want to watch Waterworld. I'm like, no, sorry. It's been a stunt spectacular for like 2 decades. We're watching Waterworld. It's an action movie. So mine is easy to rank. You're putting yours at just below Bad Boys.
Yep.
All right.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
Okay. All right.
I there's too much fun to have with this movie, and I categorically, I just think there's just more here than Quick and the Dead. So yeah. I got Bad Boys, Virtuosity, and Quick and the Dead, and you got Bad Boys, Quick and the Dead, and Virtuosity. So we're our top are still pretty similar. So, and we still have Top Dog as bottom, and Congo. Top Dog and Congo are tied for bottom. So there's starting to be more similarities here than originally thought.
Well, next week.
Oh no.
It's time to go back to our favorite 1995 action hero, the man who controlled the year. Christopher Lambert is back.
Oh no.
In The Hunted.
Oh. Not what I thought we were going with. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to go Highlander 3 there when you started Christopher Lambert. I forgot there was another Lambert.
3 Lamberts in the same year.
What a world. Okay, so this is a Blu-ray that you purchased?
I own the Blu-ray. Yep. So we can. I'm going on a business trip next week, so I'll be off next week, but I can hand it to you. So you have plenty of time.
This makes sense. Yeah.
See, I'm thinking about it.
I like where your head's at, so it gives me time to get it in. I got it. Okay. And probably something to bring us back down. But hey, I think it was a nice jump up from Top Dog. So I still stand by it since it's both in our top 3s.
Fair enough. Yeah.
The pick. I mean, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I just gotta disperse these Christopher Lamberts out throughout the season. I can't just do a bunch of Christopher Lamberts all in a row.
Well, me, I was trying to go with your yeah. I get what you're saying. I was trying to go with your first suggestion of trying to get all the streamings out of the way.
Right.
And kind of go with the rentals later, although that will slightly hurt later. But yeah, I think there's only 2 streamers left.
Well, we'll see. I haven't actually updated this thing to see if things have changed with the new month. And
True.
We'll have another new month coming up. So
yeah, but also I feel like we're saving a lot of good ones for later that I think
just working out that way. Yeah.
People might even just own, So yeah.
All right.
I'm excited.
Let's see. All right. You good to go?
I'm good to go, man. Let's do it.
All right. That is it for us. Please show us your support for this podcast by leaving a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, or wherever you happen to listen to the show. Also, sharing is caring. Be sure to follow us on social media to get the latest show updates. You can contact us by emailing at filmbrochamp@gmail.com or find us by searching for the hashtag FilmBroChamp. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Film Bros Championship Podcast. Peace out, everyone.
Come on, Parker!
I can't believe you didn't do Game Over.
Game Over.
You didn't do Game Over.
I just did it now.
It's terrible.
I'm sorry. You mocked Denzel so much. I went with the other one. But yes, Game Over.